Human nature is not good. Goodness is the result of conscious effort. If human nature were good, there would be no need for teachers or laws. People are born with desires, and desires lead to conflict if not guided. Order is born from discipline, not from instinct. Ritual is the tool that shapes desire into harmony. Without learning, a person remains close to the state of animals. Learning is the polishing stone of the mind. A crooked piece of wood must be straightened by force. A dull blade becomes sharp through grinding. A person becomes upright through teaching and practice. Nature gives us raw material, effort turns it into virtue. Goodness is built, not inherited. The mind must be trained as the body is trained. Emotion without restraint leads to chaos. Desire without limits destroys society. Ritual sets boundaries where desire would overflow. Law corrects what nature distorts. Teachers reveal what instinct hides. A person who follows impulse follows ruin. A person who follows discipline follows order. Heaven does not reward goodness nor punish evil. Heaven follows constant patterns without concern for humans. Blaming heaven for human failure is ignorance. Blaming fate for laziness is self-deception. The wise understand heaven's patterns and act accordingly. Nature is constant, humans are responsible. Floods do not occur because heaven hates people. Droughts do not come because heaven is angry. Misfortune comes from human neglect, not divine will. The gentleman relies on effort, not omens. Signs and superstitions mislead the weak-minded. Clear reason dispels fear of heaven. Understanding nature frees the mind from superstition. A strong state is built by law and ritual. A weak state is ruled by emotion and favoritism. Rulers must govern themselves before governing others. Without self-control, authority becomes tyranny. Punishment without fairness breeds resentment. Reward without merit destroys discipline. Clear laws make crooked people straight. Vague laws make honest people fearful. Ritual aligns ranks and preserves harmony. Without ritual, society dissolves into competition. Hierarchy prevents conflict among equals. Equality without order creates struggle. Respect is learned through practice. Courtesy restrains arrogance. Humility preserves wisdom. Arrogance blinds the capable. The gentleman examines himself before blaming others. The petty person blames others before examining himself. True strength lies in restraint. True wisdom lies in learning. One who stops learning begins to decay. Learning has no final limit. Even the sage continues to learn. Pride is the enemy of progress. Habit forms character. Repeated action shapes the heart. Virtue grows from daily effort. Small neglect becomes great failure. Great order begins with small rules. The mind wanders unless guided by study. Speech reveals inner discipline. Careless words reflect careless thought. Silence can be wiser than eloquence. The gentleman speaks with purpose. The foolish speak to display themselves. Listening is the gateway to learning. Ignoring advice closes the path to wisdom. Correction is a gift, not an insult. Those who reject correction reject growth. A ruler who fears criticism invites collapse. A ruler who welcomes advice secures stability. Friends reveal hidden faults. Flatterers hide danger behind praise. True loyalty dares to correct. False loyalty agrees without thought. Trust is built through consistency. Inconsistency destroys authority. Promises must match action. Words without action lose value. Action proves sincerity. Discipline transforms intention into reality. The mind must command the senses. When senses command the mind, disorder follows. Emotion must obey reason. Reason must be strengthened through learning. A calm mind judges clearly. An agitated mind distorts truth. Virtue requires effort even when unseen. Morality practiced only in public is false. The gentleman is upright even when alone. Shame is the beginning of morality. Without shame, no correction is possible. Desire must be redirected, not destroyed. Ritual gives desire a proper path. Suppression creates rebellion. Guidance creates harmony. Law restrains the wicked. Ritual educates the willing. Both are necessary for order. Too much leniency breeds chaos. Too much harshness breeds resentment. Balance sustains rule. Understanding human nature prevents naive governance. Ignoring human nature leads to failed ideals. High principles without structure collapse. Structure without principle becomes cruelty. Wisdom unites principle and system. The past instructs the present. History reveals patterns of rise and fall. Ignoring history repeats disaster. The sage studies the past to govern the future. Tradition preserves tested wisdom. Innovation without foundation invites ruin. Change must follow understanding. Stability comes from disciplined reform. A nation mirrors the conduct of its leaders. Corrupt leaders produce corrupt citizens. Upright leaders inspire virtue. Example teaches faster than commands. Rules without example lack force. Character outweighs charisma. True authority is quiet and firm. Noise disguises weakness. Calm strength commands respect. Discipline begins where comfort ends. Effort reveals the difference between desire and virtue. Ease weakens resolve. Hardship sharpens character. A person refined by difficulty becomes reliable. Luxury dulls awareness. Excess pleasure erodes self-command. Moderation preserves clarity. Rules exist because instincts cannot govern themselves. If instincts were sufficient, society would need no laws. Order is artificial, yet necessary. What is artificial can surpass what is natural. The bow becomes accurate only after shaping. The wheel becomes useful only after carving. The mind becomes noble only after training. Natural impulse seeks benefit, not righteousness. Righteousness requires learning and restraint. A person who follows benefit alone becomes dangerous. A person who follows righteousness becomes trustworthy. Self-interest must be restrained by duty. Duty aligns individuals with society. Without duty, groups fragment into conflict. Respect stabilizes relationships. Without respect, familiarity turns into contempt. The father guides, the son learns. The ruler directs, the subject obeys. Roles prevent rivalry. Confused roles create disorder. When ranks are clear, resentment fades. When ranks are blurred, conflict grows. Ritual clarifies position and expectation. Expectation governs behavior. Behavior repeated becomes character. Character determines fate. Fate is shaped by action, not heaven. Complaining about fate excuses laziness. Effort turns limitation into achievement. The wise do not resent their circumstances. They refine themselves within them. A poor but disciplined person surpasses a rich but careless one. Wealth without virtue invites collapse. Power without restraint invites rebellion. Knowledge without humility invites error. Skill without ethics invites harm. The gentleman values substance over appearance. Display without substance deceives briefly. Truth endures beyond ornament. False brilliance fades quickly. Speech should clarify, not impress. Writing should instruct, not flatter. Music influences emotion and must be regulated. Unrestrained music inflames desire. Proper music harmonizes the heart. Ritual and music work together to educate. Emotion guided becomes virtue. Emotion unleashed becomes chaos. Anger clouds judgment. Patience restores balance. Desire delayed becomes wisdom. Desire indulged becomes weakness. The mind that pauses avoids regret. Regret follows impulsive action. The wise anticipate consequences. The foolish notice only outcomes. Punishment deters those who ignore instruction. Instruction guides those willing to learn. Fear controls temporarily. Understanding controls permanently. A state ruled by fear is unstable. A state ruled by law and ritual endures. Justice must be consistent to be respected. Selective justice destroys trust. Favoritism invites corruption. Impartiality strengthens authority. A ruler must suppress personal preference. Public duty outweighs private feeling. Sentiment weakens judgment. Principle strengthens decisions. The noble person is slow to anger. Quick temper reveals weak cultivation. Self-mastery is the highest command. One who conquers others may still be defeated. One who conquers himself is secure. Victory over desire is lasting. Victory over enemies is temporary. The foundation of learning is attention. Distraction is the enemy of growth. Focus transforms effort into skill. Skill transforms intention into achievement. Achievement confirms discipline. Praise should follow merit. Criticism should follow failure. Both guide improvement. Praise without merit corrupts. Criticism without reason oppresses. Balance maintains morale. The wise ruler listens more than he speaks. Silence allows understanding to deepen. Rash decisions reveal shallow thought. Deliberation prevents regret. Plans must suit reality. Ideals without method fail. Method without ideals degrades. Harmony comes from alignment of both. The gentleman fears moral failure more than death. Shame restrains where law cannot reach. A society without shame relies on punishment. Punishment alone cannot cultivate virtue. Education precedes enforcement. Children learn order through repetition. Adults preserve order through habit. Habit strengthens resolve. Resolve stabilizes action. Action repeated forms reliability. Reliability builds trust. Trust sustains society. When trust collapses, laws multiply. Too many laws signal moral decay. Strong customs reduce the need for punishment. Customs arise from long practice. Practice arises from discipline. Discipline arises from understanding human nature. Ignoring human nature invites failure. Correcting human nature requires patience. Quick reform produces shallow results. Lasting reform demands consistency. Consistency outlasts enthusiasm. Enthusiasm fades without structure. Structure channels energy productively. Energy without direction is destructive. The sage governs by prevention. The fool governs by reaction. Prevention is quiet and unseen. Reaction is loud and costly. A well-ordered state appears effortless. Its effort lies hidden in preparation.